Hello, my name is Liza Sylvia, and I'm currently a graduate student here at the University of Guelph. I would like to welcome you to the College of Biological Science Convocation ceremony this morning. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in this convocation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the proceedings today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are red. The University of Guelph crest that you can see on the curtains behind me and on the front of your convocation program also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links to the royal city of Guelph through the white stallion above, to liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance in agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum cognoscere cosas, is a quote from Virgil. It is variously translated to be either happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall is also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduands, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority at the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, a beadle was chosen to work as by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is the ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the chancellor and provost, members of the administration and the honorees, fellows of the university, members of board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by categories, representing the specific degree being awarded within the college. The name reader will present the scholars to the provost and chancellor by degree category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be videoed, and technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live cast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The provost will greet each student at center stage, and a photograph will be taken. We understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduates has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause. Once all the degrees are conferred and all the cheers are cheered, the chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all of the platform party has processed out of the hall. Our colleagues from Alumni Affairs are hosting a social media program developed especially for Convocation. Please share your photos, memories, and advice with graduating students by joining us on social media and using the hashtag GuelphGrad. Finally, may I be the first person to congratulate our graduates on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them today. Welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
On this day of celebrated accomplishment, we pause and reflect on our place in this world. This afternoon, we acknowledge the Attawandaron people on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph now resides. And we pay our respects to their Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Métis neighbors. On this day that marks the end of a journey, we give thanks. We give thanks for all the friendships that have been forged along the way. We are grateful for those who have supported us, faculty, staff, mentors, and families. I invite you, each in your own way, to take a moment of silence, to reflect on that for which you are grateful, to offer a prayer. As we step into a new tomorrow, may the knowledge that we have gained here be coupled with wisdom and infused with compassion and clothed with humility, that we might contribute to the flourishing of all humanity, that we might embrace the forgotten, enhance the sustainability of all things, and fully discover together what it means to be human. May grace and peace abound. You may be seated.
Good morning. I am delighted to officially open this 2017 University of Guelph Convocation ceremony and welcome everyone here. Madam Provost, members of the board, honorary fellows, faculty, staff, family, and friends of the graduates. Today, as we celebrate the achievements of our graduating students, I'd like to offer particular welcome to our convention speaker, Jim Ballantyne, who will be introduced to you shortly. My name is Martha Billis, and I have the honor of serving as Chancellor here at the University of Guelph. And what an honor it is to be here today, back at my University of Guelph, my alma mater. I think back to when I was in your shoes, proud to be a Mac Institute graduate and anxious to take on the next challenge around the corner. Problem is, we do not always know what is coming or how we're going to get there. Today, I want to instill in you a belief my Dean, Margaret McCready, instilled in me years ago. She was full of advice, but most often said, remember, ladies, you are Mac girls, and Mac girls can do anything. And she was right. I stand before you today to proudly and confidently tell you that the education I received here gave me the wherewithal to go out and strive beyond what I thought I was capable of. Since the days of its founding colleges, the University of Guelph has been a leader in practical education focused on the whole person. The university has fostered an environment that encourages its community of students to aim higher, to make things better, to be more productive, to turn preconceived notions on their head, to make a difference, to improve life. My education opened doors and offered windows on the world I could not have imagined. Half a century later, those things are still happening here at this fantastic institution. Graduands, your windows are waiting. It's your turn. Your turn to make a difference and to improve life for ourselves and others. I know you can do it because you are, after all, a University of Guelph graduate, and you can do anything. Good luck to you all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Charlotte Yates, and I have the great privilege of serving as the Vice President Academic and Provost of the University of Guelph. Well, graduates, this is your big day. You made it. A few bumps along the way. I have to assume it wasn't all smooth sailing, but you've made it to the end, and this is proof to your family, friends, and to the world that you have achieved a great milestone in your life. Congratulations. Think fast. We've all heard that expression, and yet you don't often hear someone to suggest that you think slow. But my main message today is twofold. Think fast and think slow. You are a generation of learners who have been at the forefront of rapid adoptions of technology. You are hyper-connected to the world in ways that I could never have imagined when I was your age. In fact, I believe I saw my first calculator when I was in second year, and I thought it was a marvel. I was still using a slide ruler at the time. You are expected to process large volumes of information and ideas. And what's amazing to me and to all of us is that you do that successfully. Your minds, and in fact your brains, are being rewired in response to this rapidly changing, technologically enriched environment. Speaking as a parent of university-age children, I see evidence of this difference in your minds and my children's minds, and it changes how you think. We see at the university that you absorb large volumes of information and data, and how you interact with it and through it with technology. You have adapted to a fast-paced world in which the volume and speed at which knowledge and information are generated and distributed is growing larger and ever faster. Let me call this a river of knowledge, which you as learners have spent the last few years learning to navigate. New ideas come at us all the time, new innovations, new ways to connect people and understand the world. We need to process more information in the same amount of time. We need to think faster. We might call fast thinking reactive thinking. Reactive thinking is tactical thinking. It's what helps a driver navigate the twists and turns of the road from moment to moment. But there is another kind of thinking to which you also are very familiar, and that is reflective or slow thinking, which takes a strategic view. It requires deep thinking and knowledge. Not that I'm suggesting that you literally think slower. I suspect that would be difficult for any of us to do. But what I'm talking about is a different kind of thought than tactical or reactive thinking. On the road, Reflective thinking is what enables you to decide which road to take. In our fast-paced world, universities are increasingly important places to learn about both types of thinking. Reactive thinking that addresses today and allows you to make quick decisions on the basis of assimilating large volumes of information. But we also encourage you to engage in reflective thinking that arises from the here and now and takes a long view, to consider tomorrow and the day after, and the impact of our decisions on the globe around us. As a student of the University of Guelph, you have benefited during the past few years from an environment that has challenged your way of thinking, an environment that nurtures freedom of thought, expression, and inquiry, an environment that promotes and supports openness to new ideas, one that invites varied perspectives on a problem or opportunity. We've encouraged you to exercise both reactive and reflective thinking. We've stressed the kind of thinking that enables you not just to provide the right answers, but to ask the right questions. We've looked to nurture thinking that is disciplined and thinking that is interdisciplinary, that draws upon diverse points of view and experiences. This kind of thinking is even more important in a world where the problems we face are large and more complex. Big problems need lots of minds thinking together on solutions, and not just unlike minds, but unlike minds with varied backgrounds and perspectives. There's a proverb that goes something like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You're about to explore and discover the next phase of your life, including, I hope, finding ways to improve life for others around you and for the wider world. Go together, think fast, and think slow. Thank you.
I am pleased to invite Jim Ballantyne, Professor in the Department of Integrative Biology, to now give your convocation address. Jim?
Madam Chancellor, Madam Provost, Dean Newman, colleagues, distinguished guests, graduands. Congratulations to the class of 2017 on the anniversary of Canada's 150th birthday. I know you have worked hard for it. I will be uncharacteristically brief. I was asked to draw on my experiences over my career to speak to you on this special day. I've worked on the physiology and biochemistry of primitive fishes like sharks for more than 30 years. So can we take anything from this that's beneficial for us in the future? Sharks represent the oldest living jawed fishes. They have survived for more than 400 million years. Survived 5 major extinction events. We should be so lucky. A couple of things they do or have done may help us understand how this is possible. One of the things is that they may be more disease resistant than other animals. This hasn't been proven, but it is anecdotally out there. Diseases are more prevalent in stressed environments, and we may find things that sharks do that can help us, and we're doing some of those things, looking at that in my lab now. Another thing, if we really stretch our imaginations, we could suggest that since sharks have more and highly developed sensory organs, 7 different senses, including an ability to detect electrical fields, may have provided them with extra information about their environment. It can only help when things get stressful to have lots of information. I'd like to focus on that a little bit now. Information is important. The motto of the University of Guelph is rerum cognoscere causas, translated as to learn the reasons for things. I've always liked that motto, but when I Googled it, I found that it was a fragment of a longer sentence Felix qui potuit rerum cognoscere causos, written by the Roman poet Virgil more than 2,000 years ago. It is literally translated as fortunate are they who are able to know the causes of things. I like that even more. They are words I have lived by, and the best thing I could wish for you is that you enjoy understanding things. If you truly understand the world you live in, you cannot be manipulated by false news or demagogues. There are other things we can learn from biology. One important thing biology teaches us is that diversity helps populations when things get tough. Canada has survived for 150 years and has encouraged diversity. I look at you out there now and see Canada will be in good shape in the next 150 years. Canada is called a tolerant society, but tolerance is not enough. Tolerance can be legislated in or out, and in the past few months we have seen how years of progress can be wiped out by the stroke of a pen. We need a deeper appreciation of our diversity than mere tolerance. Tolerance is passive. We need to hike it up a notch. We need to be active in embracing diversity. Instead of saying we tolerate diversity, how about we like or enjoy or love diversity? If a love of diversity is embedded in our society, we will be stronger. Recently, I heard that hate crimes are on the rise in Canada, no doubt encouraged by recent events elsewhere. There is no universe where beating up a Muslim, a black person, an Aboriginal person, or a gay person, or anyone is acceptable. We need to leave behind this primitive behavior. We all need to stand up against it. We cannot be passive in the face of this threat. Your generation is sometimes called Generation Z. That sounds ominous. Z is the last letter of the alphabet. You are hooked into technology more than any generation before. I hope you don't become the Borg generation, named after the Borg collective in the TV series Star Trek. They were connected wirelessly to a similar thinking cohort. Sound familiar? We are already seeing the dangers of this trend. If everyone thinks the same, we are in trouble. Don't let someone tell you how to think. Listen to all sides of an argument before making up your mind. Think for yourselves. Resistance is not futile. The internet is a vast ecosystem that you can spend a lot of time exploring and get lost in. But there are real, far more complex ecosystems out there that we hardly know anything about that you need to explore. We need to understand them better to deal with how they will change. It is your job to protect them. Never has a generation had better resources to solve problems, but never has a generation had a greater problem to deal with. We have high expectations of you. I hope we have given you some of the tools you will need to survive and thrive. Keep us in the loop and let us know how you are doing. I originally wanted to end with the phrase, "May you live in interesting times," thinking that I had gone through some interesting times in my vast lifetime. But when I Googled that, I found it's thought to be derived from a Chinese curse. We do live in interesting times, but whether they become a curse is up to you. I would really like to end by quoting that great advocate of interspecies love, Kermit the Frog, who gave the commencement address at Southampton College in 1996. On behalf of frogs, fish, pigs, bears, and all of the other species who are lower than you on the food chain, thank you for dedicating your lives to saving our world and our home. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Valentine, for those inspiring words. Now, for the moment you have all been waiting for, graduates, will the graduating class please rise? Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Thank you. Will the graduating class please be seated?
Good morning, everyone. I think it still is just morning. My name is Jonathan Newman. I'm the Dean of the College of Biological Science. As we bring across the graduates, I'm sure many of you are going to be excited. You're going to want to express your excitement in some audible manner, and that's absolutely fine, but I would ask that we hold our general pause until we complete each of the degree programs, and I'll let you know when the time is right. Madam Chancellor, Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science Honors. Mindy D. Addison. Rizan Al-Shamali. Elizabeth Frances Anschutz. Ashna Attry. Laura Ellen Austin, with distinction. Nawab Anzizi, with distinction. Benjamin Baker, with distinction. Michelle Catherine Bandy. Dimitra Bednar, with distinction. Matthew William Brennenstuhl. Kennedy Page Bucci. Paul Douglas William Bullock, with distinction. Karina Ann Burnside. Emily Ann Carr. Jennifer Cause. Tyler Clark. Sarah Victoria Coco, with distinction. Olivia Marie Calling, with distinction. Lauren Marie Danielle. Lindsay Kathleen Elizabeth Dawson, with distinction. Arlena Enario de Jesus, with distinction. Cristina Diamante Della Croce, with distinction. Allison Jane DeWonker. Santiago Diaz. Amanda DeYoung, with distinction. Connor James Drummond. Cara Danielle Duchaney. Aaliyah Dalu. Celine Stephanie Dunn. Ellen Evans Ferris, with distinction. Stuart Lee Serio Filson. Catherine Elizabeth Fisher, with distinction. Nana Fukushima, with distinction. Stephanie Ann Furtis. Meredith Garcia, with distinction. Mandy Gibson. Nathan Jerome Gnena Shakaram, with distinction. Grace Guan. Minez Kiolos Habib, with distinction. Beatrice High, with distinction. Maranke Kesawa Harris. Jessica Haley Hermack. Amanda Nicole Herzberg, with distinction. Rachel Marie Hoffman. Lauren Margaret Holden, with distinction. Roxalana Hade, with distinction. Jennifer Wing Mei Hung, with distinction. Kaylee Carol Johnson Cover, with distinction. Megan Janine Jonker. Megan Patricia Camphius, with distinction. Victoria Helen Knapp. Benjamin Joseph Kozlowski, with distinction. Tess Alice Cresp, with distinction. Bernice Lau, with distinction. Alyssa Lau, with distinction. Amanda Michelle Lang, with distinction. Emily Mary Leishman, with distinction. Kathleen Victoria McIntosh. Andrew Jonathan Matty, with distinction. Destina Mattressing. Lauren Catherine McCaw, with distinction. Madison Hope McRogan. Ryan Alexander Medhurst, with distinction. Janisa Mendez, with distinction. Rebecca Morrison, with distinction. Akemi Motomura, with distinction. Benjamin Moy, with distinction. Nicole Francis Murphy. Chloe Abby Negri. Andy Nguyen. Timothy Nguyen, with distinction. Kate Colleen Nicholson, with distinction. Emily Claire Nunez, with distinction. Victoria Lauren Oliveira. Christian Panchevsky, with distinction. Desiree Leanne Pat. Sagar Patel, with distinction. Alexis Perluisi, with distinction. Brooklyn Jade Pettigrew, with distinction. Amanda Teresa Piotrowski. Kim Pong, with distinction. Chelsea Margaret Quarren. Susan Ramati. Alexander John Rajna, with distinction. Michaela Lovett Reed, with distinction. Jillian Reeve. Harley Wren. Kayla Rin. Salma Sardar. Sidra Sarfaraz, with distinction. Diego Juan Segovia. Ashwini Selva Kumar. Rawi Shaban, with distinction. Viji Urani Shanti Kumar. Farrell Craig Shaw, with distinction. Larissa Lumen Silvera, with distinction. Jamela Yasmin Skinner, with distinction. Kristen Ann Smith. Matthew Alexander Sterling, with distinction. Hannah Caroline Sweet. Jessica Victoria Tomasic, with distinction. Joseph William Triglav, with distinction. Tao Trin, with distinction. Samantha Christina Tripp, with distinction. Natalie Tsao, with distinction. Riley James Vanderhout, with distinction. Heather Lauren Vanderlip, with distinction. Nathan Gerald Lewis Vanderplug. Marcel Sebastian Van Heist. Kelsey Christina Verboom. Rachel Jacqueline Versace. Alexander Eleanor Waluski. Jack Yangtian Alexander Wang. Miles Victor Wardrope, with distinction. Amy Lynn Westland, with distinction. Kayla Marie White. Anna Lee Yin Wang, with distinction. Mitchell Wright, with distinction. Winnie Hui Yang, with distinction. Zoe Amanda Zerini, with distinction. Please join me in congratulating these graduates. Madam Chancellor, Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science, General. Jared Cole Cohen, with distinction. Sorry, I'm just a bit lost here. Hang on a second. Okay. James Aaron Jose. Rachel Kasorik. Please join me in congratulating these graduates. Madam Chancellor, Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science, Environmental Sciences. Alexander William Drake. Adam James Martin Egan. Alexandra Jordan Farkas. Caitlin Loren Fortune. Julian Christopher Lum. Matthew Thomas Kenzo Marai. Jacob Nelson Parliament. Shannon Lynn Ray. Veronica Helen Knapp. Please join me in congratulating all of the graduates.
Madam Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program, but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduands not present.
Well, graduates, you did it. One more round of applause and congratulations. And welcome all of you to the Griffin alumni family. a growing family. This week, more than 3,400 new graduates are joining that family, and around the world, University of Guelph alumni now number more than 125,000 grads. We are all proud of your accomplishments here at the University of Guelph, and we look forward to hearing about future accomplishments and how the foundations you have developed as a student support you going into the future. We want to celebrate your achievements, your successes, and we hope you will stay in touch. Let us know when you next have the next milestone. And remember, no matter where you are always welcome at the University of Guelph campus. Graduate, you've made many memories here over the last few years, hopefully a few new ones in this last hour and the ceremony. Remember this as well. You were a student for a short time, but you are a Griffin forever. This concludes our formal convocation ceremony. The College Dean will host a reception for all graduates and their guests at Creelman Hall. This is one last time to have a bite at Creelman Hall, and which I'm sure you visited many times before. And of course, to congratulate one another, introduce family, friends, and let them get to know the University of Guelph. So I hope that you're able to attend the reception. And now, as is fitting, the final word goes to the Chancellor.
Convocation is dismissed.
Congratulations, everyone. We know you're going out and accomplish a lot of things. We hope you come back, visit often, inspire us with your achievements, maybe at homecoming, alumni weekend, or just whenever you feel like visiting. We're going to ask a little help in preparing the hall. We're going to ask you to leave by the side doors, either side of the front of the stage here. Students first, family second. Outside, get lots of photos so you can look back on these days and remember with this ceremony with fondness. And when you're done, please return your gowns and hoods to the tent so that the next group of students can look as good as you. Now, graduates, you ready? You're going to turn it up, right up this time. Woo! You're free to go.